you, not my coach, because you never helped me to get in this career, and I'm nothing like you, so I'm definitely not your son. I'm a real ass person, you not. So out of here.
He always be out the way. Like, he really be out the way. When people don't like me, the first thing they like to do is attack me and my man.
Due to Nicki Minaj's husband's recent imprisonment, Cardi B is striking where it hurts. Recently, Allset and Nicki's husband Kenneth got into a fight, and Kenneth was caught for threatening to murk Allset. Nicki is clearly quite upset about this, and she is warning Cardi very strongly. If you thought the Cardi V's Nicki feud was bad, think again. Now that we are all aware of it, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B have a history of conflict that dates back to 2017 and has only gotten worse over time. They might not be hurling shoes at each other in public or getting into violent confrontations, but they occasionally insult each other online and are usually hostile toward one another. Because the Barbs are constantly eating the Bardi gang and the Bardi gang is constantly pursuing the Barbs, their admirers aren't left out either. But over time, people have just stopped caring about their feud because, let's face it, seeing two adult women disparage each other online gets old. But because of the wives' husbands, Offset and Kenneth Petty, all eyes are once more focused on this feud. Now that Offset has spent time in jail and occasionally engages in fights, both men are known to have run into difficulty in the past. We don't need to go into detail about Kenneth because everyone is aware of the kind of problems he's gotten himself into. Now, Kenneth's shady background first came to light a few years ago when, after marrying Nicki, he went to LA and neglected to register as an offender. He was sentenced to probation and house arrest as a result. And if you know anything about probation, you know that you typically aren't permitted to associate with people who have a criminal history or get into any sort of problems. He has been doing a decent job of keeping his head down and avoiding trouble for the last few months, up to this point. Consequently, a video of Kenneth and his buddies outside yelling for Offset and threatening to jump him if they see him outside went viral a few days ago. I'm done now. I've just completed it. I'll listen to Canny. Man, I'm gonna get shot. Man, I'm nervous. Dude, I'm gonna get shot. Man, I'm nervous. The shot is gone. Big Jew is not in frame. Big Queens, I assume? When Kenneth threatened to murk Offset, things only became worse. Man, that's a lot of money. How are you, man? Yeah. Get a gun, you? Yeah. Huh? You don't know me. You don't know me, they claimed. You don't know me, they claimed. You don't know me, they claimed. Pussy, while you're on your vacation, you're organizing your funeral. Yeah? Right up until the street. Yeah, that's accurate. Saying this while you're on probation is a very bad idea and idiotic since you're simply asking to get into even more trouble. Threatening to do this to someone on a regular day is bad enough. And as was to be expected, he was criticized for being sloppy and accused of trying to stir up trouble with Cardi. Naturally, Nicki was also included in it. In order to clear the air for Nicki and Kenneth, he shared some private messages between him and Offset in which they had a disagreement. Offset DM'd Kenneth a few days earlier, asking him to pull up and asking, "Where you located?" according to the text. You owe both men and women who lack the resources to fight a war. Since you're a gangster, don't post me either. You also reside in Charlotte? I'm outside heavy, ain't hiding from no man, especially no rap dude, Kenneth retorted. I'm a gangster outdoors. Say nothing, guy. You won't even receive compensation for the murder of your citizens by those men. You're a mature man talking crap about a woman, Offset retorted. You have a P. Offset said, you guys are too old to be outside. You may think anything you want, but you're broke and I'm close to catching you already. I won't tell you it's something else online. I ain't hiding, my man. Get in line, Kenneth retorted. Set, clapped, sung, collect some cash. Eat, don't shame the poor. Set, keep up the silliness. You guys aren't standing on any money or business. I can tell you're broken. Silly man. when Kenneth brought up Takeoff and sang, "Use that money to get the men that killed your partner." My GIA. That's gangster. He delivered a punch below the belt. They keep challenging one another to pull up while trash-talking each other. Eventually, Kenneth and his crew accepted Offset's challenge and did indeed pull up. There are rumors that something happened at this year's VMAs that we weren't aware of, and that is why they were so angry with each other. But we don't know what specifically happened between them for Offset to DM Kenneth out of the blue. Like I stated, Allset sliding into Kenneth's DM was completely arbitrary, so this kind of makes sense. Well, surprise, surprise! It landed Kenneth into a lot of trouble with the parole board, and he was sentenced to 4 months of house detention when his video of him threatening Allset went viral. The legal filings state that while with someone with a criminal history, Kenneth was caught on camera making threatening comments towards a certain person. As a result, the probation officer thinks enrolling him in the location monitoring program will enable more thorough monitoring, restrict his activities, give a penalty for his non-compliance, and perhaps prompt him to consider and reassess his place in the community. Shaw did not instruct him to reflect on what he had done before leaving him to stand in the corner. The letter continued by pleading with the court to rule that Kenneth Petty must take part in a home confinement program for up to 120 days, which may involve electronic monitoring and GPS. Kenneth apparently didn't take into account that he would be receiving a monitor fastened to his ankle when he boasted about being strapped. And I must acknowledge that Kenneth overplayed his hand on this one, since, in addition to breaking the terms of his parole, he boasted about doing so and posted it online for all to see. He was caught for it, and the internet then made fun of him for it. This is when Nicki spoke out, bringing up the fact that someone in the music industry had been lying to the police and CPs about her family, as a result of which the police had surrounded her home and were armed. 2 separate occasions, she claimed. My home was surrounded by large guns. She released an audio clip from one of the recordings. Despite not appearing on any blogs, this person wanted a family with a 2-year-old to be there. When you have spies in high places of the music industry who don't want you to win, but understand they can't stop you because God's anointing in my life is really real, that same person filed a fraudulent claim to keep ES. Funny how this guy hasn't been identified, reported, detained, or anything. Although she avoided using names, I believe we all understand who she was alluding to. A child who has done nothing but provide joy to others would get the brakes beaten off of them, she added, adding that you cannot call the police every time you fall. I don't care about reading comments, so go ahead and knock yourself out. Show them this, write it down, take a picture, and tell them what you do to try to stop the VMAs. I trampled them. According to Vogue, the best outfit involves smoking. She should not have exposed Cardi for attempting to stop her at the VMAs, the child. This also supports rumors that something happened between them during the VMAs that precipitated this confrontation. However, Nicki explicitly urged her fans to change Cardi, so that's not all. Since swatting a home with a baby is not a crime, she added, Barbs, tomorrow, I'ma inform y'all who SWAT. Let's leave. You already know that Cardi will not back down. Keep me and my mans out of your effing mouth, she tweeted. The worst aspect about this drama, according to the fans who were gripped by it, is that Cardi B and her husband Offset didn't have to do anything. They added. The husband of Nicki Minaj received no response from Offset. The man was being childish online when a federal judge caught him and ordered him to sit at home for 3 months. How disappointing for Kenneth Petty. The sorrowful Nicki Minaj is leaving. Every time Kenneth Petty is mentioned, only drama and filth are involved. Kenneth Petty, make sure you can equal his tax bracket before you ever come for Offset or Cardi, and do something pricey for your elderly wife someday. What about the threatening messages Offset made to Bar V or Nicki so he could defend her and joke with his wife, but Kenneth couldn't? This indicates that Cardi and Offset are wrapped up. When the true killers are exposed, they aren't really interested in that life of the backseat. This situation is absurd, but please leave your thoughts in the comments section before watching the following video.